This is 911 emergency. What are you reporting?
Oh my God, we got attacked.
Who attacked you?
I don't know.
You don't know who attacked you? Is that your home?
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Hello everyone. In today's video, we will be discussing a chilling incident that unfolded on Halloween night. In the heart of Napa Valley 19 years ago, three roommates Lauren, Adriane, and Leslie just finished handing out candy to the kids in their neighborhood. The roommates have a relaxing Halloween at home, hanging out and watching TV before saying goodnight. Lauren goes to bed around 11 o'clock, but she's suddenly woken up in the dead of night to her dog Chloe barking at the window. Something set off a motion detector outside, causing a light to turn on, assuming it's a neighborhood cat that set off the sensor in the past. Lauren tries not to worry about it, and she gets Chloe to come back to bed.
My reaction is basically to quiet her down, so I, Chloe, it's okay, shh, and told her to lie down again.
And then I heard the screamings and cries for help. I knew right away that it was something awful.
A sense of dread washes over Lauren as she realizes that someone else is in the house, putting not only herself but also her roommates, Adriane and Leslie, in imminent danger. Fueled by fear and concern for her friends, Lauren hastily springs out of bed and races to her bedroom door. With trepidation, she musters the courage to confront the potential threat within their home. As she cautiously steps out of her room, her heart pounding, Lauren is suddenly frozen in her tracks by the unmistakable sound of footsteps echoing down the stairs, intensifying the gravity of the situation.
I've never, ever felt that terrified, not knowing what to do. I just ran into the backyard.
I thought, this is a race for me to get to the door before he does.
With adrenaline coursing through her veins, Lauren manages to slip out of the back door and finds a hiding spot. Uncertain if the intruder detected her escape, she waits in tense silence, her heart pounding in her chest. The fear of being discovered hangs heavy in the air as she contemplates whether the mysterious individual will come searching for her. To her immense relief, the ominous footsteps don't follow her. Instead, Lauren senses, perhaps hears, the intruder making an exit through a window. Though unsure of their whereabouts, she summons the courage to re-enter the house and investigate. Determined to find out what happened and assist her roommates, Lauren cautiously steps back inside. As she rushes to the home phone to call the police, a sinking feeling envelopes her when she discovers that it's not functioning. Undeterred, she makes her way to Adriane and Leslie on the second floor, hoping to offer help. However, nothing could have prepared her for the shocking scene that awaited, sending a chill down her spine and shattering any semblance of normalcy.
I noticed blood on the walls and everything. It was a horror movie. That's what I thought, exactly what I thought when I was up there. This can't be happening.
Racing upstairs, Lauren is met with a devastating sight. Both of her roommates are on the floor. Leslie's lifeless form confirms the grim reality of the situation, while Adriane is clinging desperately to life. Shock courses through Lauren, but there's no time to dwell on the horror unfolding before her. Driven by fear and urgency, Lauren knows she must act quickly to help Adriane. With a trembling hand, she reaches for her cell phone, grabs her loyal companion Chloe, and rushes to her car. Terrified and in a state of panic, she dials the emergency number, desperately seeking assistance from the police, her mind racing with the traumatic events that have transpired in the seemingly secure confines of her home.
One unconscious, she was down, and then the other one was bleeding, but she was saying, help me, please help me. I don't know what to do. I'm driving around.
Wait, you're not back in the house?
No, I got in my car and left. I don't know what to do.
Instructed by the emergency responders to return to the house, Lauren hesitates, her mind clouded with fear and uncertainty. The possibility of the killer coming after her looms large, but with a deep breath, she turns around and heads back towards the residence. The night is eerie, and Lauren's senses are on high alert as she navigates the chilling atmosphere surrounding her. the police arrive around 2:15 a.m., responding swiftly to the distress call. However, despite their prompt arrival and the efforts of paramedics, Adriane succumbs to her injuries. The tragic events unfold rapidly, and within a mere 4 minutes, the assailant inflicts irreparable damage, leaving Lauren as the sole survivor in the wake of the harrowing Halloween night. The killer, shrouded in the darkness of the holiday, vanishes into the night, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable horror and a survivor haunted by the memories of a night that changed everything.
In a few minutes' time, my entire life was changed. I'd lost my friends, my roommates, and I'd been left untouched. I asked, what do people in my situation generally do? People don't generally survive in this situation. They're usually killed too.
February 2004, 8 months earlier, Lauren and her friend Adriane and Sogna had found a house to rent together in Napa, California.
She really genuinely cared about people and her friends and would do anything for her friends, and that's what I really did admire about her.
Assisted by Adriane's friend Lily and Lily's boyfriend Eric, the girls successfully relocated their belongings to the house. Shortly after settling in, they encountered a group of young women residing in the neighborhood, among whom was Leslie Matsara.
Leslie was very, very outgoing and very spunky. I had never met anyone like her. Just warm and just Southern hospitality, everything. Everybody kind of was drawn to her.
Leslie's roommates had made the decision to relocate, and during this transitional period, Lauren and Adriane extended an invitation to Leslie to join them. With an available third bedroom, Leslie moved in with them in June. Over the next 4 months, the 3 young women forged a strong bond, evolving into close friends. However, the tranquility of their shared life is abruptly shattered 4 months later. The police are meticulously sifting through the gruesome scene at the house, desperately searching for any shred of evidence that might lead them to the person responsible for the deaths of Adriane and Leslie. The magnitude of the tragedy makes it nearly inconceivable for their friends and family to accept the harsh reality that Adriane and Leslie are no longer a part of their lives.
The pain is just excruciating.
I could not accept that someone wanted to kill my child. Someone hated her and wanted her gone.
Investigators make a crucial discovery as they find blood on the blinds, indicating the likely point of entry for the killer into the house. Additionally, they come across zip ties bound with a rubber band and a cigarette button positioned just outside. Notably, none of the roommates were smokers, suggesting that the assailant might have lingered outside, possibly waiting for an opportune moment before breaking in. Despite their efforts, no murder weapon is found at the crime scene. The gruesome reality unfolds as it's revealed that both Leslie and Adriane were subjected to multiple stab wounds. Police surmised that Leslie was likely asleep during the initial attack, and Adriane rushed in, attempting to intervene and protect her friend during the harrowing incident.
It was a struggle up to the very end. She did not go down lightly.
She was a fighter. She was a scrappy girl. She would have fought very, very hard, and I hope she hurt him.
Given the extreme violence of the attack, law enforcement leans towards the belief that it wasn't a random act. They suspect that the killer likely had some level of familiarity with the girls. While Lauren managed to escape the horrifying ordeal, the loss of her 2 friends unfolded within a few minutes. As the sole remaining person in the house, Lauren is determined to assist in any way possible. However, her inability to identify the killer's face leaves her anxious, fearing that he might still pose a threat and could potentially be pursuing her.
I can only imagine her fear. It must have been just horrible.
No one has any idea why Leslie and Adriane were targeted. Police ask around the neighborhood, but because it happened on Halloween night, There were lots of people out in costumes and masks throughout the evening approaching the different houses in the neighborhood. An intruder could easily sneak around without looking suspicious.
What it does is it turns my world into looking around and having a suspicion about everybody. I was thinking everybody was a suspect. Any of my friends are awful.
Investigators are leaving no stone unturned as they meticulously examine the inner circle of the girls, including close friends and ex-boyfriends, while also considering anyone who might harbor a grudge against them. Leslie's status as a former beauty queen who traveled extensively across the country, meeting and socializing with numerous people, raises questions about whether she could have been the intended target, especially as she was the first to be attacked in an exhaustive effort. DNA samples are collected from hundreds of men connected to the victims, their relatives, friends, and neighbors. However, none of these samples match the evidence found at the crime scene. The investigation extends to registered sex offenders in the area, but every lead seems to lead to a dead end. The frustration mounts as it appears that the authorities are no closer to apprehending the perpetrator. Adriane's mother finds solace in the unwavering support of Adriane's best friend, Lily, and Lily's husband, Eric. Together, they refuse to surrender hope, determined to see justice served for the person who took the lives of Adriane and Leslie.
Somebody would have had to notice a friend of theirs acting strange or had bruises. It doesn't seem like somebody could just walk away from it and be fine. Somebody must have seen something. Somebody out there knows something.
Months after the traumatic attack, Lauren remains deeply traumatized, grappling with the emotional aftermath of the harrowing experience. The grieving process for the loss of her friends is compounded by the added burden of facing criticism and skepticism from others regarding her own account of the events. Overwhelmed by guilt and haunted by the unanswerable question of why she survived while her roommates perished, Lauren finds herself in a constant state of distress, compounded by the lack of progress in the investigation. She harbors persistent fears that the killer might return for her. Lauren lives with a constant sense of unease, frequently glancing over her shoulder, haunted by the unsettling notion that the assailant could be lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike again. The ongoing uncertainty intensifies her trauma, leaving her in a perpetual state of anxiety and fear.
It's hard to go to sleep, and it's hard to be quiet when everything goes quiet and it's dark. That's when everything comes back every night. It was the weirdest feeling ever. I didn't want anyone to touch me. My mom would try to console me a little bit. I'm like, don't touch me.
Even though she's been suffering, she also does everything she can to help with the investigation. She thinks through all her past conversations with her friends, trying to think if there might be anyone who would want to hurt them, but she can't think of anything. And as police eliminate more and more potential suspects without finding any promising leads, it seems like there's no end in sight. Lauren takes matters into her own hands. She has to do something, and she sets up a phone call with two Los psychics, Marty and Michael Perry. They say they're able to communicate with Adriane and Leslie, and Lauren tells investigators desperate for answers. Police agree to work with the psychics to see if they can figure anything out. The psychics make a sketch of the killer, saying they're able to
I did ask the girls on the other side to send me an image of the perpetrator. The biggest feeling was the goatee.
After the session, they emailed it to me. I remember looking at it, it actually looked familiar.
Lauren, desperate for any leads, decides to send the sketch she created to the police, hoping that others might recognize the individual depicted. The police acknowledge the potential significance of the sketch and add it to the case file, expanding their avenues of investigation. In a somewhat unconventional approach, they arrange an in-person meeting with the psychic, Michael Perry, who asserts a connection with Adriane. During this meeting, Michael Perry claims to hear a familiar name, introducing a potential breakthrough in the investigation that could bring new insights into the mysterious circumstances surrounding the crime.
I said to Lauren, Who's Lily?
The potential breakthrough prompts Lauren to consider Adriane's best friend, Lily Prudhomme. The trio of Lily, Adriane, and Lauren had spent time together frequently, and the revelation raises questions about how Lily might be connected to the murders. Lauren is left grappling with the uncertainty and puzzling over any possible links that could shed light on the tragic events that unfolded.
Lauren felt, just as I did, that it was just Adriane's best friend and that it really didn't have any significance other than Adriane was trying to maybe get a message to Lily.
September 2005, nearly a year after the attacks, Halloween is approaching once again. However, the looming holiday brings a renewed sense of fear and apprehension, as the killer responsible for the previous year's horrifying events remains at large. Families in Napa are gripped by terror, haunted by the unresolved nature of the crimes and the lingering threat that the perpetrator could strike again.
Every investigative lead had been followed up, and there were no leads. They could not figure it out.
Police were frustrated. Certainly the victims' families were frustrated.
People were genuinely afraid that the killer might strike again.
2nd, 2005, the police make a crucial decision to disclose to the public that they have discovered a rare brand of cigarette, but at the crime scene, Camel Turkish Gold. This particular brand is known for being sold in limited quantities, with stores typically only selling 1 or 2 packs per week. The revelation is significant as the DNA extracted from these cigarette butts found at the scene is a match with the killer's blood discovered inside the house. This revelation marks a breakthrough in the investigation, providing a valuable lead that could potentially bring the authorities closer to identifying and apprehending the perpetrator.
The decision was made that they would come out with some of this information to see if that may get somebody to talk. It might put some pressure on the suspect.
The decision to reveal the brand of cigarettes to the public pays off, making it seem like police were closing in on a suspect. With the pressure growing, a man turns himself in. Just 5 days later, Adriane's mom gets a call from the police with the news.
The police sergeant, he told me that they had made an arrest.
My next words were, "Who was it?" And I was not at all prepared for the answer to that question.
The man is Eric Koppel.
The man is Eric Koppel.
I was stunned, and I said, "Lily's husband?" It's like I'm hearing it, but am I hearing the right thing? I thought of him as part of Adriane's intimate circle of friends, the same circle of friends that had been supporting me through this difficult time.
In February 2005, 7 months before Eric Koppel eventually turned himself in, he married Lily, who was Adriane's best friend. Adriane, initially slated to speak at their wedding, had her role filled by Adriane's mom in her honor. However, in an unexpected turn of events, Eric is arrested for the murders of Adriane and Leslie. The revelation leaves their friends and family in disbelief, struggling to come to terms with the fact that Eric had been deceiving them all along. He not only concealed his involvement in the crimes, but also feigned support and sympathy, casting a shadow of betrayal over the relationships that had once seemed genuine.
I was just shaking and I was very upset. When I got off the phone, that's when it really kind of hit me and I lost it.
Right away, I was wondering how he could possibly have been overlooked.
Eric had not been interviewed by the police, even though he was part of the circle of friends.
He was on a list at one point to be interviewed. I don't recall why it didn't happen.
Police finally have the culprit, and he was much closer to home than anyone thought. He also didn't have any criminal record. Investigators find out that Lily and Eric were at a party on Halloween night and Eric had a lot to drink. He and Lily had a fight and she dropped him off at their apartment and went to stay at her parents' place for the night, leaving him alone.
He claimed that while he had some memory of leaving his house and taking a knife, he didn't know why he did that.
After the attacks, he burned his clothes, trying to do everything he could to avoid being caught, but Eric smoked outside the house before breaking in, and saliva from the cigarette butts and left at the scene. The blood on the blinds and Eric's DNA all match. But even though he turned himself in, he didn't reveal why he killed Adriane and Leslie.
That is the burning question. Why? What caused him to commit these horrible murders?
Throughout the investigation, police largely focused on Leslie's connection to the killer. They figured she was the target, but they might have been looking in the wrong place. In March of 2004, 7 months before the attack, Lily called off her engagement with Eric. He had drinking problems, and she was upset that he refused to get help.
It appeared that some people, and possibly Adriane, were telling Lily that she could do better. She shouldn't be any longer involved in this relationship with Eric Koppel, that he wasn't good enough for her or right for her.
Lily seems to come alive when she's with Adriane, and I think he felt threatened.
Adriane and Lily had planned a trip to Australia together, and so he was just deathfully afraid of losing her. So his answer was, kill the one that's in the way of my happiness with Lily. Kill the problem.
On December 5th, 2006, Eric Koppel pleads guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder. He accepts a plea deal, and in exchange he doesn't face the possibility of the death penalty. The decision to offer the plea deal was made after talking with Adriane and Leslie's families, who wanted a different punishment for him.
We wanted him to suffer. We wanted him to suffer every day for a long, long time.
At Eric Koppel's sentencing, Adriane's mom, Arlene, gets the chance to speak to him directly. In a powerful statement, she forces him to face the reality of what he's done and how many people he's betrayed.
You knew Adriane. She counted you among her friends. You are a man who violently stabbed to death the best friend of the woman you love. You cannot love Lily and bring a knife into Adriane's home and stab her again. And again, and again. While in the coming years, the memory of Leslie and of Adriane will remain clear and shining bright in our hearts, I will think of you no more.
In an unexpected twist, Eric's wife, Lily, addresses the courtroom, expressing her support for Adriane and Leslie's families. However, when she directs a statement towards Eric, the content of her words sends shockwaves through the courtroom, leaving those present surprised and disturbed. Despite the shocking revelation, Adriane's mom maintains a sense of sympathy for Lily. Perhaps recognizing the complexity of the situation and the emotional turmoil Lily may be experiencing, she holds on to a semblance of understanding amidst the courtroom drama and emotional upheaval.
My heart goes out to both Arlene and Kathy, and to the rest of their families and friends. Eric, there is nothing in this world that you could do to make me love you less.
I told myself that there is no way that I could know what she was going through. There is no way I could put myself in her position. I think that Lily was like another sister to Adriane. She could not have even suspected that her husband was involved with that.
Then Eric Koppel speaks. He admits that he was worried his relationship with Lily was falling apart. He even tries to get people to feel for him breaking down, as he claims to feel intense regret for what he's done.
Voice doesn't work. I am a broken man. Oh, it sucks. The words evade me to articulate the depths of my sorrow.
I did believe that he was truly remorseful. Those were real tears that he was crying, but not for us. I believe he was crying for himself.
Eric Koppel is sentenced to life without parole. Lily divorces him after he's convicted. Adriane and Leslie's friends and families finally have closure. Their killer has been brought to justice, and he will never be able to hurt anyone again. It's a long healing process, but today Lauren finds hope in her continuing bond with Adriane and Leslie.
Experience with the Perrys has given me a faith that after we pass, that we can still have a connection to the ones we've loved in this lifetime.
And I tell the girls this every day, like, I will never forget them. I'll never forget kind of what they had to go through.
In a testament to Leslie's enduring passion for child abuse prevention, even after her passing, her legacy lives on. She had been deeply committed to this cause during her lifetime, actively raising funds to support the construction of safe houses for abused children. In 2010, Calvary Home for Children commemorated Leslie's dedication by naming one of their cottages the Matsara Cottage in her honor. This enduring tribute serves as a continuation of Leslie's mission, ensuring that her commitment to providing shelter and care for children in need carries on.
Leslie's life speaks for itself. I'm so grateful that I got to be her mom and that she brightened our lives. She was a gift.
Leslie and Adriane's memories live on their family and friends, continue to think of them every day, spreading the love and care that they showed throughout their lives.
This car is Adriane's car, and I haven't even changed the preset radio button. So every time I get in this car and turn on the radio, I feel that she's with me and that the day is going to be a good day. It makes me feel happy to know that as long as I live, Adriane will be loved.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video with friends and family, and let me know your opinion in the comments section.